Students, this will be the third lecture of your chapter, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. So, first we will discuss about the pollination. So, what is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of the flower of the same species. So, one question can be asked that what is the essentiality of this pollination process? Why uh, pollination is necessary for the plants? So, in case of plants, when they are producing offspring by the sexual reproduction, then mostly they are utilizing flowers. As I told before, that flower is the reproductive part of the flower. So, to produce seed, for the formation of offspring, pollination is necessary. Just because pollination is nothing but the transfer of the male gamete to the female gamete. And when the pollination will be taken place, or we can say the transfer of the male gamete will be taken place, then after fusion will be possible. So it is very essential part of the flower for the production of seed, or we can say to produce the offspring. Okay, now we will see the types of pollination. So the first type of pollination is called self pollination, and second type of pollination is called cross pollination. So in case of self pollination, we can understand the process completely. We can see here. So this circled structure, we will assume it as the flower. So in this plant, in a single plant, we can see two flowers, and the arrow is just representing the transfer of pollen grain. So we can see here on this flower, some of the pollen grains are transferring from this flower to this second flower, and some of the pollen grains are just transferred to the same flower. So this is the whole process of self-pollination. So in terms of definition, we'll see how we will depict it. So the transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of the same flower, we can see this part. The transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. So what is the meaning of this line? So meaning of this line is the transfer of pollen grain is taking place from the same flower to the same flower, means from the anther of the same flower to the stigma of the same flower, or another flower of the same plant. So the second arrow is representing the second line of the statement. So what happens here? The pollen grain either will be transferred on the same flower, or another flower which is present on the same plant will be called as self-pollination. So when we will go in depth, so we can understand it completely as when the seed or the next generation of the plant will be produced, then the genotype will not be as much different as when the transfer of pollen grain would be taken place to the another plant, just because the egg of the female gametophyte and the pollen grain of the male gametophyte has been arised from the same plant. So it is in terms of genetic variability, it is just like the asexual reproduction, just because here no another genome has been mixed here. So same plant is producing the offspring. Okay. Now the self-pollination can again be divided into two categories: autogamy and getonogamy. So in case of autogamy, the first definition can be can be utilized. So what happens here? By the figure, we can understand what happens in case of autogamy. The pollen grains from the anther are transferred to the stigma of the same flower. So first line of the self-pollination can be said as the autogamy, and it always occurs in the bisexual flower, just because if the transfer is taking place from the same flower to the same flower, then it means both the sex organs are present in a same flower. So autogamy takes place only in bisexual flower. Now the second category of the self-pollination is geitonogamy, and we can explain this geitonogamy by using the second last part of the self-pollination we have used to explain the self-pollination. And what is that? The pollen grains from the anther are transferred to the stigma of the flower of the same plant, but not the same flower. Okay, so it this geitonogamy uh, takes place in both bisexual as well as unisexual flower. Okay, so is this geitonogamy takes place in bisexual and in case of unisexual flower. And in case of unisexual flower, this is only process through which pollination takes place. It means in case of unisexual flower, geitonogamy is the only the type of pollination. Now, when we discuss about the advantage and disadvantage of the self-pollination, so every process is having its own advantage and disadvantage. So first we'll see the advantage of the self-pollination. So the first advantage of the pollination is it maintains the purity of the species due to no mixing of the genetic makeup from two different strains. So in case of self-pollination, as we can see, the pollination has been taken place on the same plant. So the the genetic makeup of the both the gametes are the same, just because both have been arised on the same plant. So in case of self-pollination, the offspring will be the pure species, just because there is no mixing of the genes from two different individuals. It means only single individual is able to produce the offspring by the process of self-pollination. So no genetic mixing is taking place in this type of pollination. The second advantage, they don't need much modification for the pollination. Okay, so uh, the the pollen has to be transferred either from uh, one flower to another flower of the same plant or in the same flower. So there is not it is not necessary to have modifications so that the pollen grain should be transferred to another plant. So the distance for the pollination will be so much less. So there should be very much less modification in case of self-pollinating plants. Now the third advantage, very few even individual plants is capable to increase their population. So here we can understand it, this statement, as if there is a vegetation where a single plant is there and none of another strain of the same species is there, so they can produce their offspring by uh, by using the single body. Means they will utilize the same body to produce male and female gametes, and they can produce the offspring. They don't need another individual to produce the offspring. So if a single plant is there which is going through self-pollination, so to increase their number or by the formation of offspring through sexual reproduction, they will go through the self-pollination and they can produce the offspring. And if the cross-pollination is there in case of that plant, then they will be needed another individual also. So the essentiality of another individual will be essential in that case. But in the self-pollination, uh, in the self-pollinating plants, there is no necessity to have another individual for the production of offspring. Now we'll see the disadvantages. Now, since the offspring have been produced by a single individual, so there is no mixing of genes or genetic material. So it may cause the inbreed vigor. Inbreed vigor is the vigor which is caused by self breeding. When self breeding or the same kind of genetic makeup has been utilized to produce offspring for several generations, so there will be a deviation in case of the physiology of the offspring. So there will be some disease or some uh, unexpected uh, uh, disadvantageous characters will be produced. So it may cause the inbreeding vigor. The second disadvantage is the new useful characters will not be able to appear since there is a single plant which is producing the organism. So it is the the chance of appearance of new characteristics will be zero. So new characters, we cannot expect new characters. But if we will use two different individuals, then it may happen that the offspring will have a new genetic makeup with new uh, phenotype and genotype. Now, the third disadvantage is adaptation to the change in the environment would be reduced. So what happens when the there is a variation among the population? So they will have different adaptation property in different individuals due to genetic variability towards the environment. But if the population of a plant or animal or any species is having the same genetic makeup, then either they will be uh, either they will adopt to the environment or not. If the population, or we can say the individual, is not able to adopt the environment, then all the individuals of the same species will die. But in case of variability, there will be variable chance of their survival. So the population will survive when there will be variation. But in case of self-pollination, the offspring will not have variation just because they are using same genetic makeup. They are not including another individual's genetic makeup in their offspring. So these are the advantages and disadvantages in self-pollination. Now, the cross-pollination, the another kind of pollination, the broad category was self-pollination and cross-pollination. So here we will discuss about the cross-pollination or xenogamy or allogamy. So in case of cross-pollination, xenogamy or allogamy, what happens? The transfer of pollen grain from the anther of a flower from one plant to the stigma of another flower takes place on another plant. So what happens here? The transfer of pollen grain is taking place from the flower of one plant to the flower to the stigma of the flower of another plant. So here what will happen? The male gamete will be from one individual, and the female gamete will be from another individual. So what happens? Finally, the offspring will be formed by the mixing of two different individuals. So here, genetic recombination and variation takes place just because the offspring will have the the genes, or we can say the genome of two different individuals. So now we'll see the adaptation for cross pollination means what are, as we have seen that in case of self pollinating plants, they don't need much modifications, but in case of cross pollination they should have some accessories or some modifications which will be utilized to take up the to transfer the pollen grain from one plant to another plant of the same species, and to send the plants and to receive the to send the pollen grains and to receive the pollen grain, to send the pollen grain from the anther of one individual and to receive the pollen grain from the another plant of the same species. So we will see some modifications. So these modifications which have been utilized in case of cross pollination, means for the successful cross pollination, is known as outbreeding devices. So the modification, in another word, we can say outbreeding devices are nothing but just the modification in plants for the successful cross pollination. Now, we will see different kinds of these outbreeding devices or modifications in different plants as per their habitat, their pollen grain, and several things. The first adaptation is self-sterility or self-incompatibility. So it is a condition where the pollens of the flower either do not grow or grow very slowly if the self-pollination takes place. So what happens? The offspring which which would be produced by the process of self-pollination either will be very slow, or the pollen grain will not be able to grow. Means in case of self pollination, what happens? uh, if the flower, if the pollen grain will be transferred from the flower, from one flower to the another flower, or on the same flower of the same plant, means in case of self pollination, either the pollen grains will not grow, or if it grows, then the process of the growth will be so much slow to stop the self-pollination. So in overall, we can say the such kind of modification is being done in some plants so that self-pollination will be stopped. So this kind of uh, outbreeding devices will be called as self-sterility or self-incompatibility. So the same flower will not be compatible, or they will be sterile for the same the pollen grain of the same plant. Now, the second outbreeding device is dichogamy. Okay, so in case of dichogamy, what happens? The maturation of pollen and stigma of a flower takes place at different times. We have in class, we have already discussed protandrous condition and gynandrous condition. So what happens? So when in some of the plants, anthers will be matured first, and when the when the anthers will be matured and the pollen grains will be spread after some time, the female gamete will be mature. Means at the same time, both the gametes will not be available from the same plant. So the self pollination will be stopped by this kind of arrangement also. So in case of dichogamy, two types of plants are there. So the first type of plant will be called as protandry. So protandry are the plants, or the condition in the plants is where the anther shed their pollen before the stigma of the same flower is receptive. So what happens? The, the pollen grain is ready for the pollination, but at the same plant, at the same time, either uh, of the same flower of the same plant or another flower of the same plant will not be ready to receive the pollen grain. So what will happen here? The pollen grain will pollinate the flower of another individual. So the example is Salvia, Gossypium, and Helianthus. Now, the protogyny. Protogyny is the reverse condition of the protandry. So in case of protogyny, the stigma of the flower becomes receptive far before than the pollen grains of the same flower are available. So in case of protogyny, the female reproductive uh, arrangement will be ready far before uh, the maturation of the male gamete or pollen grain. So these are the things which will stop the self-pollination. Now, the third kind of arrangement is hercogamy. So, in case of hercogamy, due to some special positions of the anther and styles, self-pollination becomes impossible. So, again, the self-pollination will be stopped by the arrangement of anther and styles. So we can see in some of the plants the length of the style is much more as compared to stamens. So what will happen? The length of style will be more and the length of stamen will be less. So it will not be easy to transfer the pollen grain of the stigma of the same flower. And in the second condition, the anthers dehisce the dis- at a distance, so the stigma is out of reach of its own pollen. So these are the things which will stop in case of hercogamy. Now, the fourth and most important modification is unisexuality. So, when the flower will be unisexual, then what will happen? Always they will have to pollinate the another flower just because they don't have both the sex organs. So unisexual flower on bisexual plant or monoecious such as castor and maize prevent the autogamy. So these are the modifications which stop the self-pollination just because self-pollination is a kind of asexual reproduction and there will not be any genetic variability in case of individuals, or it is not, we can say that the self-pollination is not good for the adaptation of any population for their survival. That's why uh, cross pollination is more beneficial towards the self pollination. So, uh, self pollination, although self pollination is having its own benefit also, so it also occurs, but cross pollination is very important in case of sexually reproducing plants. Thank you.